Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my Tamiya Juggernaut project. If you didn't watch my previous video, I glued the tires to the wheels and was going to test my new battery, but this happened. I really wanted to test her limits. I knew that before I glued the tires, the wheels were spinning inside the tires, especially the rear wheels. That's why I couldn't. That's why she couldn't consistently pop wheelies and such. I knew that the motor was powerful enough, but I was hoping that the gears inside the center gearbox would be able to handle the torture. Apparently not. Compared to my Cloudbuster with the brushless motors, the aluminum pinion gears were the things that gave out and not the plastic gears in the axle. So I was hoping for the same thing here, but the pinion that I'm using for my Juggernaut is hardened steel. So I'm kind of worried now since I switched to hardened steel pinions for my Cloudbuster. I hope the plastic gears will still be able to hold up. I do have plans to remedy my Juggernaut's weak gears, but first I want to discuss the sustained damages. So the bed support broke off, but that's minor. I already 3D printed a replacement. This time I used 100% infill instead of 60%. The previous one was 60%. This one's 100%. So that one's already replaced. The rear wheels I ended up cracking. Um, I don't know if the camera can catch that. End up cracking the rear wheels. Um, One of the pegs or the studs that goes through the gear hub, wheel hub, broke off. I super glued it back on, and as you can see, I also glued the aluminum wheel hub to the back of the wheel, so it's more permanent that way. So it's not just relying on those studs for um, for it to hold on to. It, I only use like the E6000, so I mean they can still come off if I wanted to, but I wanted it to grip not just on those studs. These wheels are really hard to come by and are very expensive, so I need to take better care of them. As a matter of fact, all parts for the Juggernaut are rare and expensive, so I might tone down the bashing a little. She's not like a Cloudbuster where re parts are more available. The drive shaft for the rear, um, these are supposedly made of stainless steel. The yoke hole elongated. Where is that? Right here. So that part is elongated now compared to this side right here. If you look, it's still kind of solid. There's like a lot of play now. So um, I can probably try and hammer it shut this way. Try to shut it, and I could try to heat treat it and make it harder. Um, I'll dip it in oil, I guess, to cool it off. But we'll see. I don't know how long it lasts though. So, but for the time being, I might swap this to the front drive shaft. Um, and use the one that's in the front to the rear. The C hub, the C hubs, the top holes have elongated a little bit. I don't, the camera's not catching it, but it's slightly elongated. I think because from um, the weight, and I was doing all those jump videos, and the weight of the truck was like pushing on the holes of the C hub, so it's elongating the holes. So um, I don't know what I can do. I could probably try and strengthen this part, like how I'm doing for my cloudbuster, where I was basically trying to thicken the plastic using the plastic slurry. I can, you know, cordon this area or dam it with like tape or clay, and then basically I'll make this part thicker. But I don't know if that's gonna do anything really for that hole. Unlike unlike my the cloudbuster, they you can buy aluminum axle tubes. They did have aluminum axle case for the Juggernauts, but they were just crazy expensive, and they're kind of discontinued. I don't see them anymore. I don't think I would be buying those anyway. Um, they're just like crazy expensive. So I don't know. I'll just tone down the tone down the bashing a little bit, I guess, for this truck. Now for the major part, we're all gonna witness this at the same time. So I'm gonna crack the center gearbox open and see what the carnage looks like. Hmm, I don't know. So this is the gear that the this is the gear that the pinion is, rolling against with. So I don't know what I ruined. All the gear seems to be intact, so I'm kind of surprised. I thought maybe this gear was all chewed up. Um, huh, what? I don't know. I don't know what this. What? What am I? What's stripped? I wonder. I wonder if it's the gear that's in the gearing that's in the axles. I'm holding the two end end shaft, or that's not it. And that's not it either. Well, at least it's not the axles. So that's kind of a relief. I, I don't know. I really don't know what's clicking then. What was I don't know. I I honestly don't know what to say. Um um yeah. You guys see that, right? It's not. I'm surprised. I mean, I thought, like I said, I thought this was gonna be busted, but it's not. Is it this part? No, the shaft is there. Let me try to put this back together. Uh, I think I found it. There's a crack right there. Is that a crack? It's not. It's not opening or anything. But I don't know. Is it a crack? It's not. I don't. I don't see a crack on this side. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what's causing it to skip. That's a tape, electrical tape. Put electrical tape on the tip of the shaft because to make it tighter in the hole. So um do I need a new gearbox? The gears look fine. I think I might have found it. Nope. I thought maybe this hole had elongated, but it's not. It was just greasy. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, where the was it the differential? Was it the differential that were spinning around? I I'm actually surprised. So I don't. Well, since she's all disassembled anyway. Um, yeah. I, I don't know what to tell you guys, but what I had planned was initially, since I have spare gears um from a TXT. um have oh, there we go. No, 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 no. It's because this gear needed to be here. So I have spare gears that I thought I was gonna have to use, or initially I was gonna make another gearbox. So there was this brilliant man that went by Inventor in the Tamiya club forum. He had made his own gearbox, um, basically to lower the how the motor's mounted. He reconfigured the gears. He mounted um, two of the gear, these compound gears, onto one shaft, and basically it lowers how the gear are. It lowers the how the motor is going to be mounted. I was going to copy um, his idea, but I don't have a CNC machine, a milling machine. Um, it would have been too much work for me to do it. I mean, I don't have like any of that precision machining tools to make the gearbox myself. So, and I had some of these like aluminum plates laying around that I was gonna use, but um, so I scratched that idea. Actually, so I ordered I ordered the um, hardened steel gears, and I was gonna replace this gear that the motor, the pinion is riding on. I swear I thought this gear would have been destroyed, but that's not the case here. I didn't want to replace all of these gears with the hardened steel gears because uh, those I'd imagine those gears are heavy, and I'm trying to reduce the rotational mass. But um, I I don't know. I'm surprised that this is actually intact. So I don't know what the clicking sound was. Um, but I might still replace this gear with that hardened steel gear, like I said. So um, okay, so that's not what I thought was wrong with it. But initially I was gonna do some math with you guys because this motor is a 1700 kV motor, as it states right there. For those guys those of you who don't know what that means, 1700 kV basically, for every 1 volt that you apply to this motor, it'll spin at 1700 RPM. So I was using a 3S LiPo battery, which is like 11.1. Actually, it's more than that, but um, close to 12.6 at full charge. Um, but anyway, the math that I was gonna do was because of this configuration that I have. Normally, there would be another um, idler gear or the spur gear that goes on there. Basically, the two silver cans mount into here, as you can see those slots, and then there's a gear that goes around here, a compound gear that has like a 40 tooth around here, and then the other gear that's coupled to it is a 17 tooth like this one. So 40 out here. The stock pinion gear of the Juggernaut 1, 2, and TXT were 15 tooth pinions. The TXT 2 came with 19 tooth pinions stock. So the math I was gonna share with you guys as my thought. So the Mabushi 27 turn motor. Um, this is like from me watching on the trying to do my research. Initially, I thought it was like close to 2000 yeah 2000 kV motor, but some have been able to um, make him turn faster. So like the video that I watched, he was able to get a max RPM of 16,734 using a 7.2 volt battery pack. Which if you divide that by 7.2, you get 32 2,324 um, RPM per volt. So others claim higher than that, 20,600, which is roughly around 2661 kV. And so, like I mentioned, Juggernaut 1, 2, and TXT 1 came with the 15 tooth pinion. The TXT 2 came with the 19 tooth pinion. The Like I said, the spur gear or idler gear that would have been out here. That's attached, the compounded with the 7 tooth pinion. It's 40 tooth. So if you do the math of 40 divided by 15, that's 2.67. So for every uh, 2.67 revolution of the motor, you get to turn that 40 tooth uh, idler gear one turn. And then using the 19 tooth pinion, for every 2.105 turns of the motor, it's like one turn of the that idler gear. But because my configuration basically gets rid of the idler gear, um, it's this is more of a direct drive, and um, so I'm getting out the whole 1700 kV out of this motor. Um, so with this math, so that 2500 kV that we're saying that the Mabushi motors are 2500, and then you divide by the if you're using a 15 tooth pinion, 2500 divided by the 2.67, you get 936 kV out of the motor because of the speed reduction, but then you have the torque increase but the speed reduction. And then for the TXT2, basically the Mabushi motor turns into like close to like 1188 kV. So this motor is turning faster than those motors, and I'm using like I said, a higher voltage uh, battery, so it's turning even faster. Let's see, so that 1700 kV times that 11.1 volts from the 3S. So I can spin this motor over 1800, close to 19,000 rather, close to 19,000 RPM. Um, if you're trying to convert that, so the 18 18870 divided by the 7.2 from the would be like NiCad or nickel metal hydride. So this is close to like 26, 21 kV motor. I don't know if my math's correct. So, and then we're saying, if I was saying that, the 15 tooth is down to 936 kV. If you divide that from this, really I'm turning turning the that gear almost 3 times as fast, and even twice, over 2 times as fast as the a TXT would. So yeah, I don't know if my math's correct, but hopefully it makes sense for some. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you guys. I I will try to put it back, at least the gearbox together, and test it and see what happens here. And then yeah, I thought the gears in there would be shredded to pieces, but they're not. Oh, this was the battery I was using, Turnigy Rapid. It's basically a 5,000 milliamp 3S, and it's a 100C discharge. So yeah, that packs a punch compared to the battery that was out of my Cloudbuster, another Turnigy 4,000 milliamps, but this is only 40C, 4050C. So that C is basically how much of a discharge the battery can put out. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to test this that long. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put this back together. We're gonna test it out and see if there's any clicking or grinding. All right, let's see how it goes here. I'm back. During my video edits, I discovered that I lost my audio, so I'm redoing this part where I'm testing the motor. The the ESC, the switch is still attached to the chassis. I didn't want to rip it off, so just leave it as is for now. Receiver, all right. Power to the transmitter. I want to test something out. I'm gonna see if I could put a little resistance to the motor and gearbox by holding one of the shafts. I don't want the other one flailing around while I'm testing it. So all right, transmitter's already on. So this is me holding the shaft right now. So this no clicking sound right now. So the problem is not in the gearbox. So I'm afraid it might be in the axles. So I just came up with this idea after I've gone through the edits. So um, I'll probably check on uh, check on the axles another day on another video. Because I want to crack crack this open. It's gonna take me some time to do it, and I'm gonna do it off camera. So problem's not in the gearbox. I'm afraid if there are any problems, they're gonna be in the axles. And but then I went ahead and checked them earlier to see if there's a gear in here that has a D-shaped hole, the drive gear. Um, I went ahead and checked both of them to see if the hole rounded out. There's according to the Tamiya forums, Tamiya club forums, they're prone to rounding out. But I when I checked them earlier, they're still they're still pretty good shape. They still have the D shape. So along with the hardened steel that I ordered for the gearbox, I also ordered the hardened steel version of those. Um, I don't want to install them yet unless I really have to, because if you know if those are the if those were like the point of failure, for example, then the next and then I put the hardened steel, and then basically whatever the next point is would be the next point of failure, which would be the differentials, the actual differentials, because those are made out of pewter. They're softer metal than the beveled gears that are in here. They're in here. I think they're some sort. They're harder metal than the, the differential housing and the drive gear. Um, I don't know, but I just bought them just in case. So for so on a different day, I'm gonna crack these open. This video has gotten longer than I expected, so but I want to go over some of the my plans. So if you guys, I don't know if I mentioned it because my video is like all jumbled up right now. So there's these two kind of like railings right on top of the axle housing, and the bottom of it has them too. And it creates a channel basically, and my plan is to pour my plastic slurry in between to basically thicken that part of the plastic. And so while I'm trying to fix this part, basically try to thicken this, because that hole looks to me like it got elongated. So um, I'll try not to go too far higher than this stand up right here. You guys can see that. I'll try not to go as higher than that. Maybe just uh, little lower. And then the other thing would probably me using a 2S lipo battery instead of a 3S. So yeah, I just bought this, but I don't know. I can probably use that some on something else. What else? The My other plan for the axles, basically for the differentials. So the what I want to do is notch. I want to make the differentials more sealed, so I could. You guys saw this in the background. I want to put these silicone differential fluid in there. This 60K and 80K, and basically limit the slip of the differential. I tried the Lucas grease that I thought would be thick enough. Nah, it basically here just like free. It's pretty free spinning right now, so you can see it pretty free spinning right now. Um, so hopefully these would slow the differential down a little bit. So my plan is to put the test out the 60 first, and then if this is not um, heavy enough, then I'll put 80. Or I might just put 60 in the front after if this is not heavy enough, I'll put the 60 in the front and then the 80 in the rear. Um, I don't race, so I just bash around. I don't compete or anything. So I know um, some who competes probably might say that, oh, it's better to have the heavier fluid in the front so you can steer uh, better and all that stuff. But like I said, I don't race. This truck has four-wheel steering. Um, if I wanna, you know, steer faster, I can switch to my four-wheel steering. And you know, but the idea behind the differential, the for me to basically seal it up, I have let me use this. Somebody suggested that I use this Permatex Aviation former gasket, so I'm gonna use that on the basically the seam of the gasket. I'm sorry, the seam of the differential. But as far as the holes where the shaft go into, my plan was for I'm gonna put a groove on the axle, the shaft, close to the mouth of the basically the house of the differential. So the mouth, I'm gonna bore it just a little bit bigger because I bought some silicone O-ring that has a 5.5 millimeter internal diameter and 7.5 millimeter outer diameter. So the differential, basically I'm gonna bore out probably a millimeter deep. um, I'm gonna bore out the uh, 7.5 millimeters, and then the the shaft will have a that basically have 5.5 groove. So just at that mouth like that, so the oil doesn't come out. Hopefully, because I don't want this in the on the drive gear. It's definitely gonna slow it down. So, but hopefully that works out. So that's the plan for it right now. Um, the the drive shaft keeps popping out, and what I did while I had this, um, I was able to drill drill a hole on the shaft, and I bought new grub screws as a basically a pin on the end. Initially, it had about 2.5 millimeter uh, size pin. I turned it down to 1.6 because that's the smallest drill bit that I had, which is like 1/16 of an inch. It's um, equal to 1.6 millimeters. So if you can see right there, as a whole, the grub screw grub screws pin basically goes in there now. Because for some reason, um, no matter how much thread locker I put on there, it just keeps back in. The drive shaft just keeps pulling out. There's nothing preventing it from sliding out, no matter how tight I put it on there. And you can see the markings on the shaft. Let's see if I can get that on camera. It's like it's pretty marred on there. I put the hole just a little bit, like it's kind of centered. I didn't want it too far in, so just in case I end up replacing the drive shaft with something else, um, and it doesn't go in as far or whatever. So this one sticks out just a little bit, so it doesn't go in all the way. This is flushed out a little bit, or you guys can see the hole there. Probably better if I remove the other grub screw out. So um, like that. It could go in further, but I decided to drill the hole um, a little bit out. So in case I end up replacing this with a different drive shaft, and just in case that one doesn't go in further, so I did it this way. Yeah, I had already put Loctite on this and everything too, so I was waiting for it to dry. But I had to redo the video because, like I said, I discovered that the audio was dead. I got some, I don't know how or why. And you just need to play around to find that hole. Don't force it. There it is. See, now it kind of locks into place. Um, I'll show you. This is not tight all the way. See, and then I'm gonna loosen this a little bit too. See, but that pin is in there. It just doesn't pull out anymore. So okay. So like I said, I'll try to. Well, my plan was to um, modify the differential anyway, but I'm not gonna get around to it tonight. So that will be. I'll probably do that off camera, and I will just basically before I put it back together, I'll see if I could, you know, take some shots or catch a video of it. Um, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. So please stay tuned and share my videos. Thank you for watching.